Hello, watch your PC Jack. So, we finally made it to the end of 2022. And with 2023 on the horizon, today I thought it'd be a good chance to look back at some of the best releases of 2022. But I'm not doing it alone. Since starting this channel, I've made a few friends along the way, and what I thought would be a good idea is to invite them to share their thoughts on their favourite releases of 2022 and compile them all into one video together. So buckle up as we reminisce of some of the best releases of the year and some of the ones that stood out the most to us in 2022. For all the channels featured in today's video, I'd highly recommend checking them out and showing them some love by subscribing if you enjoy the content. I'll include links to all of their channels in the video description. So first up, we have TechLabUK, who has been a keen supporter of the channel and a regular in the Tech Flashback live chat. TechLabUK has proven to be an extremely consumer-focused channel with a heavy emphasis on not only new hardware but also legacy hardware as well. However, there was one piece of hardware that they took a look at that we were all highly anticipating, so take a look.
What's up guys, TechLab here. Now 2022 brought some really exciting hardware releases, but the one that we were most excited about was actually the release of the Intel Arc GPUs. This was really exciting to us because at a time when GPUs weren't really available, Intel actually came into the market and created a third player which is going to bring competition going forward that is great for everyone. And they didn't actually do a bad job. Even though when they were released they could have done with some work on the drivers, Intel is doing that work now, but you couldn't complain about the hardware. This is the one that we managed to pick up at launch. It's an Intel Arc A770 and we absolutely love this card. Because it's the LE model, it's got the fancy RGB fans and the RGB that goes around the edge as well as on the back. But it also came with 16GB of VRAM, which is actually going to give it a bit more of a future proof. Now on our channel, we're going to be doing some exciting content this year, and particularly our followers have asked for us to do more around the latest editions of the AMD graphics cards. Now we have plans for that, but it doesn't mean that this one's going to be forgotten about. We love this card so much that we've actually designed our studio gaming system completely around it, and that system is behind our shoulder there, so everyone's going to see it in all the videos going forward. We're also not going to be stopping the content on this card because we want to see how it matures over time, and Intel are already starting to drop some fantastic drivers which really do improve it, and we just can't wait. But that is the most exciting piece we had in 2022, and we really look forward to it going forward, and we hope you do too.
Next up, we have a channel that's pretty close to home for myself and has covered an absolute ton of CPU coolers, cases, monitors, you name it. And that is WelshyTech. So let's hear what he had to say about his favourite piece of hardware for 2022.
So guys, this is Richard from WelshyTech. The product I'm picking is the PureLoop 2FX. I think ever since they brought out all their different type of product lines, as Be Quiet are known for silent performance, but ever since they brought out the Lightwings last year, I think they've kind of revamped their products, and personally, anything with RGB, I approve. And I honestly think ever since they brought out the FX line, as far as I'm concerned, Be Quiet have told me themselves that they're out of stock of all the FX line, which is a good thing. It shows that the product is on par with anything out there. Also, you get the RGB look, you get the Lightwing fans, which these are the high RPM fans. You get the the light around the housing of the Be Quiet housing, and it's also in a 240 loop. Now, the pump is obviously whisper quiet as well, the fans are whisper quiet, and I honestly cannot wait to see what Be Quiet brings out next. From as far as I heard is more products of the FX line will be coming. I'm hoping they will be doing more because I honestly, in my personal opinion, love their product line from the FX. It's got the RGB, it's got the German engineered, as well as it's got the whisper quiet, silent, as Be Quiet is known for. So, price to performance, the best combination on the market. This is Richard from WelshyTech. Goodbye.
Not only did I reach out to a couple of friends of the channel to find out what their favourite hardware was for 2022, I also asked you guys what piqued your interest the most this year. By a slim margin, it seems that Intel's 13th gen Raptor Lake CPUs were your top pick for this year's releases, followed very closely by Nvidia's RTX 40 series. AMD has seemingly trailed behind though with their RDNA 3 release, which saw a fairly lukewarm reception, and also their Ryzen 7000 series of CPUs really struggling to maintain their popularity on the market. Maybe things will change in 2023, but for now though, it's really cool to find out what you guys like the most from this year. Now, I'd like to throw things back to one of the earlier episodes of Tech Flashback, and that was with the other guest we had on the show, which was MertKayKay. Mert has had a crazy year on YouTube, and has seen an absolutely huge surge in popularity with her extremely well in-depth video essays on anything from video games to films and TV. Now, while Mert doesn't focus exclusively on hardware, there was one piece of hardware which, while releasing not in 2022, has still been quite a challenge to get a hold of in this year alone.
Hey Jack, and Merry Christmas. My favourite hardware release is hardly a 2022 one. Can you believe the PS5 was released for the first time in November 2020? Yet, considering the scarcity, it still feels like a new release. Despite looking very desperately for one for a long time, it still took me over a year until I managed to grab my own, but I finally have it and I'm here to talk about it today. So, the PS5. I mean, it's a PS4 but better, right? That's hardly a super optimistic way of putting it, but I'll be real honest with you. It's basically a PlayStation 4 Pro. Not only because it adds as much as it removes from the PS4 experience, giving us better recording and capture capabilities, for example, in exchange for removing themes and adding more clicks to the most basic tasks like joining parties, but because there's just not really that much available for the PS5 yet that isn't still being put out for the PS4. I mean, don't get me wrong, when it comes to, say, the PS4 versus the PS5 stack of Elden Ring, there is a huge gulf visually. That being said, the PS4 version looks way more vibrant and beautiful than the more higher fidelity, higher quality PS5 version, but mechanically, absolutely everything is present on both consoles. The same goes for almost any available port. Dead by Daylight, Far Cry 6, Resident Evil 8. Cyberpunk 2077 is, if I remember correctly, the only game that has PS5 only DLC, but we all know why that is. This is obviously because PS5s just aren't yet in solid enough circulation that PS5 only games can really exist in abundance beyond the few we get on release, like Demon's Souls, Astro's Playroom, for example. But these titles were, in my opinion, perfectly capable of being on the PS4. They just weren't put on it because they were trying to get people to upgrade to a new console. Which is all well and good, people do want to upgrade, but with the continuing scarcity and the abundant and unregulated presence of scalpers on the market, upgrading just isn't an option, even for the people who doggedly wait for restocks and sales. On paper, the PS5 is an obvious upgrade from the PS4. It's good, stuff runs very well, loading times are astoundingly better than the terrible PS4 loading times. Things that would take 5 minutes on the PS4 take seconds on the PS5. But by the same merit, so much was removed between releases and slowly fed back to us as new features, say for example the folders system, that it's barely an upgrade to the user experience as a whole.
Now, closing out today's video, we have a guest who I would argue is one of the most influential tech media outlets in all of the UK. With over a decade of experience on YouTube, as well as being a dedicated news outlet, eTeknix has covered pretty much every major hardware release over the past couple of years. So I thought it'd be a good idea to reach out to Andy and see exactly what he thought was his favourite release of the year.
Hey Jack, thank you very much for having me on the channel. Now, I was asked to kind of go through, I guess, what I think is the best product of 2022. I'm going to throw a little bit of a curveball here because, shameless plug, I think it's got to be the eTeknix PC Maintenance Toolkit because it has everything you need to build, repair and maintain your PC, and it is available over on store.eteknix.com. So now that I've got the shameless plug out of the way, I mean, it really is a great product. I think it's got to be this, the 5800X 3D. Not purely because it is the greatest product, but it also kind of gives an idea as to what's to come. We all know that Ryzen 7000 series is here, and while they are fantastic, the 5800X 3D still manages to keep up in a lot of titles, and then certain titles like Microsoft Flight Sim, well, it completely decimates everything from both AMD and Intel for a processor that, you know, has actually dropped quite significantly in price. So while this is, I guess in my opinion, the greatest product that launched this year, and considering it launched in April, it's had, you know, quite a few months after it to be bettered by both AMD themselves and Intel, I think it's fantastic. But I'm actually more interested to see what this means for paving the way for the future. We know that CES is kind of, you know, a couple of days away now, I guess, and there is going to be potential announcements from AMD, maybe a 7000 series with 3D cache. So yeah, for me, I guess the 5800X 3D, while it is an amazing product, for me it's more what are they gonna be able to do at AMD to utilize the technology and the potential of 3D V-cache, moving it over to newer products and just completely obliterating the market. I don't know, it's going to be a scary time for Intel, I guess. So yeah, that's why the 5800X 3D for me is the best product of 2022. Thank you very much for having me on your channel, and hopefully we can do some collabs in the future. Cheers guys, see you later, bye bye.
Finally, I thought I would take the chance to cover my favourite hardware release of this year, and while there are some strong contenders, whether it was the Noctua NHD12L, or Fractal's Torrent Compact, or even the PowerColor Red Devil 6650 XT, there was only one piece of hardware that piqued my interest the most above everything. That is, of course, the Steam Deck. This device really changed the way I game on a daily basis. Whether it's a quick 30-minute Hades session or even playing the latest AAA releases, whether it be Spider-Man or Red Dead Redemption 2, the Steam Deck can do it all. Of course, it does have its limits, but given it can run games even like Cyberpunk 2077, which could barely run on a PS4, goes to show just how well developed this device is. What impressed me most of all was its versatility as both a gaming system and also as a general PC. The fact that you can literally dock it and use it like any old PC is really cool, and the fact that it's so versatile is something that many developers are going to have to pay attention to over the next year. I really hope more and more people get to experience the Steam Deck with all its bells and whistles, and given the fact that you can order one today and have one within 2 weeks, is certainly a huge improvement over the reservation queue of the past year. While it's not perfect and Valve do have some improvements to make, most notably with battery life, they have certainly set a precedent for gaming handhelds and the sort of quality you can get out of them in today's day and age. I can't get enough of it, and I would highly recommend it to anyone that would love to play the games on the go. So, that's it for the best of 2022. Before I close out this video, I would like to give a huge thank you to all the channels for taking the time to share their thoughts on their favourite releases of the year. If you'd like to check out any of their channels, I'll ensure to include links to all those in the video description as well. I'd also like to thank you guys, as well as for all your support throughout 2022. This year was a big year for myself, and a lot has changed. I can't wait for 2023, whether that's publishing more videos for you guys, further developing the Tech Flashback live show, further growing the PC Jack community, or even on a more personal note, the fact that I'm getting married at the end of the year. 2023 is surely shaping up to be a very, very memorable year. Above all, I hope you guys had a great Christmas and have a happy new year. If you enjoyed this video, then please feel free to like and subscribe for more videos on the way soon. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at PCJack94. If you'd like to talk more with myself and other like-minded hardware enthusiasts, then make sure to check out the PC Jack Discord server. If you'd like to support the channel even further though, then make sure to check out the PC Jack Patreon where you can claim exclusive benefits while helping to fund everything on the channel for you guys. You'll find links to all those, as well as all the other channels featured in today's video in the video description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.